good? Ian? All good? All right, good evening. Are you guys hearing anything out there? Oh, good. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is public hearing night for May the 16th. I'd like to make note that Councillor Trace is not with us today. She's on her vacation, so we expect to see her back soon. And with that, we'll open the public hearing with the following. Looking for approval of our agenda.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. It is a public hearing statement that you'll indulge me with. The public hearing is convened pursuant to Section 890 of the Local Government Act to allow the public to make representations to Council respecting matters contained in the following proposed bylaws. First on our agenda is Colwood Land Use Bylaw number 151/1989, Amendment number 159, a text amendment for C8A Zone 324 Goldstream Avenue, Bylaw number 1668/2017. And secondly, Colwood Land Use Bylaw number 151/1989, Amendment number 158, RM1 to RM6 for 2006 Sooke Road, Bylaw number 1667/2017. Every one of you present who believes that your interest in the property is affected by the proposed bylaws shall be given a reasonable opportunity to be heard or to present written submissions respecting the matters contained in the proposed bylaws. None of you will be discouraged or prevented from making your views known. However, it is important that you restrict your remarks to matters contained in the proposed bylaws. When speaking, please commence your remarks clearly by stating your name and address. If you don't want that publicly read in, there will be able to be provided in writing to our recorder. The function of the Council at this public hearing is to listen to you rather than debate the merits of the proposed bylaws. After the public hearing has concluded, Council may, without further notice, give whatever effect Council believes proper to the representations made at this hearing. Please be reminded that after the public hearing, there is no further opportunity to speak to Council about the proposed bylaws. Your opportunity is now. With that, we'll move on to item 3.1, which is Bylaw number 1668, Colwood Land Use Bylaw number 151/1989, Amendment number 159, Text Amendment C8A Zone 324 Goldstream Avenue.
Good evening, Your Worship and Councillors. My name is Deborah Wilson. I reside at 1701 Cedar Hill Crossroad in Victoria, and I'm the Acting Executive Director for Pacific Centre Family Services. Pacific Centre Family Services is very thankful for the consideration that Council and the public are offering to our application to rezone the Phase 2 lands of 324 Goldstream. We applaud the City of Colwood for supporting one of the most important social needs in the community, and that is affordable housing. We have worked very hard to come up with a cohesive plan of development for Phase 2, which is complementary in nature to the Centre for Wellbeing, our Phase 1. The land use of affordable housing is totally aligned with the vision that Pacific Centre Board had in mind for the property when it was acquired in the fall of 2014. And PCFSA is really thrilled that another well-respected nonprofit organization, the Greater Victoria Housing Society, has advanced the housing plan that they have. Kay Milliship, the Executive Director of Greater Victoria Housing Society, is here with her team to present a high-level overview of their conceptual plans for Phase 2. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you so much, Deborah. It's a real honor to be here again. We really are enjoying the process, and we're looking forward, hopefully, to be expanding our affordable housing presence in Colwood. I'm here tonight with James Monroe, who's our Director of Real Estate Development, so he's here for any technical questions that the audience may have. And one of our board members, Lindsay Shojania, is here to show the board's interest and enthusiasm for this project. And our architect, Peter Johannebrecht, who I'm sure I have not said his name correctly, since it's the first time I've ever had to say it in public. But Peter is here for even more for design questions. So, here we go. So I'm not really speaking to the text amendments that are proposed tonight, just really for the benefit of the audience to give them a high-level overview of who we are and what we're trying to accomplish here. So we're a long-standing a registered charity. We've been operating and providing affordable housing since 1956, and we have a very simple mission to provide affordable rental housing. We already do own a building on Belmont that we call Colwood Lodge, and it provides homes to 50 seniors and adults with disabilities. Our vision for the property on Goldstream, the Phase 2 lands of the Pacific Center Family Services project, is simple. We want to provide affordable housing. We want to provide housing for seniors, working adults, families, and we forgot to put on our slide, youth. We're working with Threshold Housing Society to provide a group home within our building for 10 youth who are at risk of homeless. We are designing it to the Passive House standard, and we are committed to providing space for car sharing, EV plugs, and we will have the roof ready for future solar conversion. As our primary mission is around affordability, I thought I would share how the rents that we're going to be able to achieve. This is kind of our worst case scenario, depending on how construction costs, any other fundraising we're able to do, we'll be working to lower rents. That's always our goal here, to have a financially viable building with the most affordable rents. And to repeat or to emphasize the sustainability goals that we have, when we achieve the Passive House standard, we'll have a building that consumes up to 90% less energy. That will provide long-term savings for both us, as we will be heating the common areas, but more importantly, our tenants who will be heating their homes. This standard of building will also reduce our long-term maintenance and our long-term costs. And just so that you know, there's many people involved in this project, and we're very thankful to the contribution that Colwood has committed to make, should the project go through its text amendments. So it does take a lot of us to make this project work. We really remind ourselves of our goals for our development timelines. So I guess the most interesting thing for Colwood to know is that we'll be able to have keys indoors in November 2019. People will be moving in then. Here's a quick overview of the site, just to refresh, to introduce the site to the public that are attending tonight. The building at the front is the building well under construction by the Pacific Center. And then here's sort of our snapshot look at the design as it's evolved to date and is approved by the Property Committee of Pacific Center Family Services. So thank you so much for entertaining this presentation.
Thank you. Any members of the public on this item?
Thank you very much. Rick Marchand, 3508 Aloha Avenue, just to put it on the record. Thank you very much for the presentation, because when I was reading the bylaw, it wasn't clear to me what the spectrum of affordable was that we were talking about. Obviously, it is now in the realm of the rental market that we're talking about. There's no sales that will take place as part of this. Okay, that answers a big concern that I had. Because when I went through the Bylaw 151, all 388 pages of it, it's recommended reading if you really want to have a good night's sleep. That's what I can say. That notwithstanding, the section that deals with this piece of property, I see now why the split between Area 1 and Area 2 per the bylaw is being proposed. I understand now that this is a rental accommodation as opposed to property for sale. There are a couple of things that I would like to draw to the council's attention, and that is the definition of affordable housing. It appears in two different forms in Bylaw 151, neither one of which is fully defined and neither one of which is fully relevant because the references no longer exist. Whether you're talking about the Municipal Act or the retitled Local Government Act, the section that's referred to is in error. So I think staff needs to look at that. But that notwithstanding, from a council perspective, and Lord knows, in my family situation, I've had to call upon affordable housing support for family members in the past, so I appreciate what's going on here. But I think it would be very important for the council and the committee, the Plan, Land, and Use Committee, to understand exactly what affordable housing means to us as a community. The rents that you portrayed up there, although I guess by Victoria standards are affordable, from my perspective, they're still very high. The next thing I wanted to draw to our attention is the fact that the section that we're dealing with in the bylaw for commercial development, which has now been split into two areas, dealing with commercial and, of course, housing now. Two things appear to be missing. One is in terms of the detailed section of the bylaw, 7.5D1 or whatever, 75D01 and 02. It's followed then by a series of very detailed statements. Based on the presentation today, and it's one of the errors that I think we need to look at from a bylaw perspective, is accessibility is not addressed. And if we're going to have a design of this type, which I think is long overdue for Colwood, I think that aspect needs to be addressed not only in terms of the bylaw, but looking at it from the context of the OCP and other ongoing effort that's underway within the community. At first, because I didn't know whether we were talking rentals or sales, I was dead set against the developer getting away with all of the exclusions for contributing to the various funds, but given that the presentation cleared that up for me, I have no further comment on this section of the bylaw. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marchand. Any other comments on this particular item? Is there an opportunity for the proponent to address the residents' comments around accessibility?
So thank you for the comments. We will be, 6 of the units will be accessible. And so that, yes, we always build our buildings with some accessible units.
Yep. No, this is why.
It's a bit of a technical question, but there appears to be a lack of standards that are applied from an accessibility perspective. I'd like to know from your design team or your engineering team what accessibility standards you are applying to the building. Yeah, that's fine.
Through the mayor and council. So all the building suites are actually accessible by means of egress and through the elevator, but there's the accessibility code, under the BC building code, where these 6 units apply. So where someone in a wheelchair has a radius of 1,500, the bathrooms are designed to be accessible. So that's where the more stringent accessibility standard actually applies to those units.
Thank you. Any further comments on this section? Seeing none, then we will move forward into item 3.2, which is bylaw number 1667, Colwood Land Use Bylaw number 151, 1989, amendment number 158, with the RM1 to RM6, 2006 Sooke Road. And I'm sure we have a presenter, Mr. Fortin.
Thank you, Your Worship, Council. I appreciate this opportunity to speak briefly about the presentation. Looking forward to answering any questions that may arise from the audience or from Council at the end. Would appreciate that all time is valuable. Briefly by introduction, that's not us. It's a lovely building.
Can we switch that one up so that he can talk about the right project?
Oh, I was going, how could you see that? But now I see that there's a very large screen. You're not admiring my shoes, so okay, good.
They do look good, though.
They do. Thank you. By way of introduction, Pacifica Housing has been providing nonprofit housing for over 30 years. We continue to add and expand our housing, knowing that the need for families, for people with disabilities, for seniors, and though, of course, those that are suffering from homelessness, mental health, and addiction, are all people in need of housing. The housing that we're proposing is a redevelopment of property that Pacifica currently owns across from Royal Roads University. Currently, there are 34 units there, and part of the opportunity is to remove 12 and add 82 back of affordable units. The units are a mix of 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 1 bedrooms, and bachelors. There is some actual design to the mix that we're quite excited about. Obviously, for the 3 bedrooms, that is for families. 2 bedrooms is often for single parent and a child, or a young couple starting out. 1 bedrooms are both for seniors and for individuals as well. Bachelor suites are important for us. One of the interesting challenges we've had with affordable housing is often, for example, in the current site, there will be a mother with 2 or 3 children, and as the children age out, then not only does the mother lose their affordable housing, but they also lose their community. And so by introducing bachelors into these and 1 bedrooms into these units, there's an opportunity to obviously move that 3-bedroom back into play for the new young family coming out, but making sure that person who has contributed to the community, that the community supports are there, can remain. There's so many things exciting about this that I would love to tell you them all, but we call it Helios because we too are looking at and wanted to focus on the fact that Colwood has always been the leader in solar. We've added in a nod for it, for lack of a better term, a sun garden, a place for reflection, as well as, and I'm sure Lauren might highlight it, but we have a very active and play area for the children and the kids and all of those, but also a reflective area in the front. Looking forward for the design guidelines to really reflect the highest ability that we can to reach environmental standards and make savings. We find that those are important. And the other large play is recognizing that this is beside the Galloping Goose. There is a lot of, we've really emphasized the opportunity for bike transportation, and recognizing this is contributing to the development of, for lack of a better term, the core of Colwood, that we're now providing another 82 people, 82 families really, that start to support the development and commercialization that is just a couple of blocks away. So we're very excited about putting this into play. We're excited about our timeline. Lauren, do you want to run through the timeline? Do you want to pull the timeline up? This is Lauren is with Townline Housing Solutions. She is the contractor, building GC, I think is what we call it, general contractor. And Lauren is just here to do a couple where we're looking at.
Yeah. So, well, thank you to Mayor and Council for the opportunity to speak tonight, and thanks to Dean for introducing me. So, just to talk about our timeline in general, the building is a fairly fast building to put up. It's a slab-on-grade wood frame building. It's 4 stories. And we're expecting, if approvals and our timeline go as we have currently forecasted, that townhome deconstruction, 3 townhomes closest to Sooke Road will have to be deconstructed to allow for the new building. That could be done in July, with construction starting almost immediately afterwards in August. Following that, we're expecting about 10 to 12 months of construction timing, with a little bit of buffer at the end of that and time for gaining occupancy and closing up all of our items with BC Housing by, I'd say, late summer, August, September, at the very latest October 1st, we would be key and door in 2018.
Perhaps the last piece I would add that we were quite concerned about tenant relocation, that because we have to move 12 families, both here, and we have another project in Langford where there's 13 families. So we took the initiative to hire a tenant relocation coordinator whose job was to help all the families relocate to other places. First in Pacifica, then with other partners to ensure that there's transition. We've helped with assistance in their moving costs, and we have given them first right of refusal to come back into the new building. And I will say this, all of these tenants, so many of them are just committed to the North Shore, Colwood, Langford. These are where they want to be, and they're looking to come back. The second option is then for the people that remain, if they want to move in, and then we'd open up to the general people out there, adding these more units. So we wanted to ensure that it was a good experience for not only the tenants that currently live there, but the ones that are going to be relocated and hopefully come on back. So something unique that we wanted to be more than just a landlord or a developer, recognizing we have that social responsibility to help families that need it. So I'm going to leave it there. There's, as I say, there's so much more I could say and we're excited about, but obviously this is about the public hearing and not about Pacifica. Thank you so very much. Okay, I got to do this one last one. Do you notice how like there's 3 bedrooms and there's 2 bedrooms and there's 1 bedrooms? So it's like all the singles and then they meet and then they move to the 2 bedrooms and then they have children and then they move to the 3 bedrooms. So it's all within, there's a lifeline right there. And then if you're like me, you're bad, you have to go to the bachelor suite. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I'll open it up to the public if there's any questions that or comments to be made on this item.
Can I just ask same clarification that I saw earlier? I'm assuming that these are rental properties as well. They're not for sale. Okay, perfectly. And with respect to the parking, because I know you've asked for a variance on the parking of less than 1 car per unit. I know that the areas that I've been familiar with in the city, when you start offloading parking from the residential complex itself, it has to go somewhere, and usually is in the neighborhood surrounding the complex. Or people take it upon themselves to block access to emergency vehicles that may have to get access into the compound itself. It causes me a concern because I know even in our neighborhood here in Aloha Avenue, this has been a major issue in terms of fire trucks not being able to get down roads or ambulances because people don't have enough room to park. You've got 2 or 3 vehicles per family. I'm not sure if this study that you had conducted is taking that into consideration in terms of the population that you're looking at occupying this rental property. Because most people are, even low-income people, are attempting to earn a living. And I think cars still are the major way of transportation in the Colwood Langford area.
Thank you very much for a great question. We took the opportunity to go out and survey all of our affordable housing that we have and take a look at what parking is being used. There is a difference between those that are closer to the core as opposed to those that are out, but still it's about a 0.6 ratio. The hardest thing is to say we're going to have empty spots saved for cars when you have the opportunity to actually put in housing. So we are, the parking study came in and said 0.92 would be an appropriate level given where we are. We're actually putting in 0.95, 0.97. So it's about 1. So we're doing actually more than what the parking study says. And emphasizing that opportunity. So it is, we'll still have a bunch of empty spots there, but we won't have as many. And the opportunity is obviously to provide more housing, which is the real need. Remember someone saying we shouldn't be building places to park cars, we should be building homes. So both work. So the study says it's there, it works, the numbers are gone. It's higher than our own personal experience. It's higher than what has been asked for by the parking study. So we're quite confident that the parking is adequate. Thank you.
Any other members of the public? Final time. Anyone wanting to speak? Seeing none, then I will call the public hearing closed. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming by and speaking with us. Thank you.